So good morning, everyone. A pleasure to be with you. Today, we're going to talk about the importance of respecting our human biological clock. We're so frantic in the world today that we live in of managing and governing time, aren't we? Time is the lifeblood of mortality. And yet, at the same time, the way we look after our body and how we treat it can also help to maximize our use of time to get the very best out of it. Sadly, what we see is the world making lots of bad choices as to how they do choose to respect their bodies in their pursuit of getting the most out of life. It's a bizarre contradiction, isn't it? So I want to talk today, with us being a wellness company, with us pursuing this opportunity to have the largest wellness community in the world by 2025. I want to talk about an important subject, and that is respecting the biological clock and turning it into our friend. So I'm going to do a share screen. I'd encourage you to make some notes as we go through, and let's get going. So here we go. So first of all, as we talk about a biological clock, we have to begin with the concept of time. What is time? I love this. St. Augustine said, "If no one asks me, I know. If I wish to explain it to one that asketh, I know not." Wouldn't you say that's true? If I was to ask you right now, how would you define what is time? How would you answer that question? Anyone know how to define it? Describe, we measure our lives by it. We have wristwatches that tell us what the time is, but what exactly is it? Albert Einstein gave this definition. He said, "Time has no independent existence apart from the order of events by which we measure it." And this very famous German mathematician said, "Time is merely the order of events, not an entity in itself." So what we're getting to here is time is a measurement, but it also needs to be measuring something specifically, and that is the events that take place in our lives. Webster's dictionary gives us this basic element here. It says, time is a continuum in which events succeed one another from past through present to future. So we've got those three distinct elements of time: past, present, future, but there is a continuum. It's an order of things, but events are the fundamental element of time. It's a measurement, but it measures the distance between those events. So what does this have to do with health? Well, first of all, it really comes down to how we pursue time. Tony Robbins, I was at an event with Tony Robbins a number of years ago, and he said from stage, and I loved this, he said, "The quality of our lives is proportionate to the quality of our emotions." That means, fundamentally, everyone has a continual pursuit of happiness, but most people have a habit of pursuing it badly. They pursue the wrong things, hoping it will make them happy. Or many people don't actually know what will make them happy in the first place. Therein lies a challenge for many people. This is a scary statistic, and I think if we were to update this a little bit, I'd be curious to see what the percentage would be for today, for 2021. 2004, 79% of Americans consider themselves optimists. In 2013, it was just 50%. It's dropped. We're less optimistic now than we have been in the past. And yet this is the country in America where it's the land of opportunity, the land of the American dream. Yeah. And yet people are becoming less and less optimistic about their lives and their futures. It also, Time magazine also pointed out that 11% of Americans had experienced depression by the age of 18. Now, I would say that that statistic has significantly increased since 2013, thanks to the increasing trend that we're seeing on this very important subject of mental health. So what this tells us is the way we are pursuing our time is not healthy. What we are doing with it is not good. It's not good. Modern life has turned night into day. Central heating turns winter into spring. Food comes pre-packed. We work more, exercise less, and we all know, what do? We disconnect from nature. I love these videos, these little commercials that Pam Barnes has created for us. 60 seconds where she's standing on the beach barefoot saying, it just feels great to be out there in nature, having my feet in the ground, feeling all connected to the earth, getting that natural energy. It makes me feel alive. It's energizing. It's lovely. It's invigorating. And we all watch it and we go, I want to be there. But when we can't, we've got our insoles. We've got a solution. Yeah, we've got that technology in our hands with Nikan that can reconnect us to nature. But what we see, unfortunately, for many people outside of the Nikan environment is that they are diurnal creatures living in a 24/7 world. We're all seeing sleep, hopefully not our Nikan consultants and teammates, as an unwanted necessity where we're trying to cut corners in order to pursue the very best use of our time. It's not going to work though, is it? We can't beat biology. Our bodies have been designed deliberately to be diurnal. We are supposed to sleep at night. We are supposed to be awake during the daytime. And there is a reason for that. I want to talk about that a little bit as we go. What happens if we cut corners and we miss out on sleep? If we think that working extra hours at the office, working throughout the weekends, getting up too early, not, again, disconnecting from nature, all of these types of things. What's the consequence of all of this? Well, look at this. Sleep disorders have cost the US alone, just the US, $40 billion a year in lost productivity, accidents, and medication. The terrible and world famous accident at Chernobyl came down to, it was reported, sleep deprivation. That was one of the reasons why that accident happened in the first place. British Airways has warned that decision-making can be downgraded by 50%, communication skills by 30%, memory by 20%, and attention by a staggering 75%. And this is interesting. The risk of a car accident 20 times higher at 6 o'clock in the morning compared to 10 o'clock in the evening. So we really do see, don't we? If we are deprived of sleep, a lot gets compromised. Now think of your communication skills and your attention span getting downgraded like that. What does that do for our social skills? Yeah, our decision-making skills. Again, all of these things have impacts not just in the workplace, but in our social environments, in our home environments as well. It can certainly affect relationships as well if we're not getting the right sleep. The risk of injury for a night shift worker, 20% higher. Workplace accidents cost the UK £114 million a year because of lost sleep or people being tired. So this is really quite frightening, isn't it? So by definition, consequences happen in the future. Therefore, if we change how we think here and now, we can change our future in terms of health and happiness. Does that make sense? So I think this is something for us to consider as we share with others what Nikan is truly offering people in regards to good health and well-being. We talk about being a wellness community. Let's talk about what can be the consequences. Here are some of the costs that people are already paying. And it would be interesting as we speak to our customers, as we speak to people on our contact lists and people that we're getting to know, how are they sleeping? How is this affecting them during the day? Because like I said, too many people feel that that's just lost time. And so they try to compromise it. They work long hours, they come back, they stay up, they come home, they stay up late, and they spend too much time perhaps in front of the TV versus getting necessary sleep and being refreshed and invigorated the next day as a result. We've got to change that. But here's the interesting thing about the biological clock. We talk about it measuring time, but life isn't about time, it's about timing. I love this picture here in this slide. Look at that. I wonder how many times they had to to jump in order to get that perfect shot. But it is a perfect shot. Why? Because it was perfectly timed. Yeah. So we talk about dramatic timing, perfect timing, comic timing, timing for best effect, etc. But I love this proverb here in Ecclesiastes. There is a time to be born and a time to die, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep silence and a time to speak. There is timing that is at the heart of everything that we do. So our biological clock, getting back to this, and I should point out that we don't have a singular clock within our body that regulates and governs how our body functions. Every system that we have has these little micro clocks that are working. We have biological clocks in multitudinous ways going on at different times of the day, serving their different functions to make sure that we're all working as we should, our different organs having different clocks that they follow. But the clock is less interested in time as it is about timing. So the biological clock that we have within us, or clocks, I should say, is really all about governing timing. So here are some questions for you. How do bison know when to migrate, or salmon know when to spawn? How is it that birds know to fly south at winter time? They don't have a wristwatch. No one tells them what time of year it is, but they know. Why are lambs always born in spring? How do they know when to do that? Why do we instinctively want to sleep at nighttime? Why is the risk of heart attack 30 to 40% higher between 6 a.m. and midday? And as a father of 8, I've witnessed my wife go into labor now 8 times. Why is it that she, along with all the other women, most other women, go into labor most of the time at night? I've always said to my wife, wouldn't it be great if you could go in the morning, have the baby and come home in the evening? It never seems to be the case. We always go in at the end of the day as it's getting dark. Yeah? Why is that? Why is it that that happens at the end of the day? What's happening here? Why is asthma worse at night? Why is rheumatoid arthritis giving us morning stiffness, but osteoarthritis is worse in the afternoon and evening? And again, why do we eat in intervals during the daytime, but we're not waking up throughout the night, hungry, needing to eat? Our body is governing something here, isn't it? It's all interested in timing and regulating things. Why? To enhance life. Why? Because it's more interested in timing than it is about time. And if we listen to it, if we respect it, then the biological clock eases the tension between the way we want to live and the way we are built to live. And this creates homeostasis, or balance. I love this because at the heart of what Nikken is about, we are about balance in the 5 pillars of health: a healthy mind, healthy body, healthy family, healthy society, and healthy finances. And yet, if we listen to our biological clocks and we pay close attention to that and listen and respect it and respond to it through using the Nikken products, enjoying the Nikken sleep system, enjoying the water systems, and you know, making full use of our nutritional products, all of these types of things, connecting with our energy products, we're going to give ourselves a maximum opportunity to respect the biological clock. And in doing so, we ease that tension between the way we are striving to live and the way we are meant to. And that creates a sense of harmony. So again, we started out with this definition of what is time. Now let's look at what is a clock. In simple terms, it's a device that undergoes and counts regular cycles of motion. The more regular the cycles, the more accurate the clock. Now, as human beings, I've talked about us being diurnal. Yeah, we have we go to bed at nighttime, we wake up during the day and what have you, but our clock beats to a circadian rhythm. Circa meaning about, diem meaning a day. So we have this rhythm that we live by. that is a daily rhythm. Again, we sleep at night, we're up during the daytime. But just about everything to do with our biological clock has been set since the dawn of time. And again, it's all about timing, and it's all about anticipation. It's expecting and anticipating daily changes, and it adapts our bodies for maximum effect. But it works on a feed-forward basis versus a feedback basis, because it's, like I said, anticipating what's to come. It stops everything from happening at once. Our biological clock regulates things. It regulates the sleep-wake cycle, our kidney functions, our other organ cycles, our moods, our emotions, our body temperature, our blood pressure, our cognitive abilities. It does all of those things, but if we ignore it and we disrupt the clock, it can lead to depression, sleep disorder, obesity, mental health disorders, cardiac arrest, poor social skills, bad choices, accidents, and fatigue. And how much of that do we see going on in the world right now? We see a lot. So what do we need to do? We need to sleep well. Make this a priority. Sleep in a dark room, on a good bed, with a sleep system, get good sunlight, eat regularly and healthily. Breathe in good, fresh, invigorating air, drink pure water, exercise, avoid that 24-hour lifestyle, and pursue balance. Don't fight biology, respect it. Now, as you look at that list for just a second, look at the Nikken product catalog. What do you see? You see everything in there being part of this need to respect and embrace the circadian rhythm of the human body. Because no matter how much we try to beat it with technology and how we try to change things with the way the world is evolving, what we're seeing is we can't beat biology, can we? Just can't be done. But the Nikken products help us to get the very best out of our health and our well-being, and to avoid all of these challenges that so many people are experiencing in the world today. So I want to invite you to consider these and look at how many people you know that could have the opportunity to have their lives enriched and enhanced with any of these Nikken products that can help them get balance back into their lives. I'm so grateful to have the Nikken products in my home as we're moving up and packing up and moving houses over these last couple of weeks. I'm so grateful to see all of my Nikken products that come with me, turning my home into a Nikken home wherever I go. What a blessing and a privilege that is. Because the world we live in certainly is chaotic, isn't it? It is noisy, it is disruptive, and people are getting more stressed now than they ever have been before. They're certainly more fretful, their health is declining, obesity is on the increase, and mental well-being is on the decline. All these types of things are happening. And yet all of this can be avoided, mitigated, if people learn to respect the biological clock. We have the answers, we have the antidote. We need to get out there and share it with others. So my invitation to everyone today is to listen carefully to their own biological clock, recognize the answers that Nikken provides, and then get out there and share it with others. And if you're listening to this for the first time, if this is a presentation or a message that you've been directed to by a friend of yours, then hopefully you will see the benefit of some of these Nikken products that we have available that can enrich the quality of your life, remembering that the quality of our lives is proportionate to the quality of our emotions. And if we are not respecting and listening to our biological clocks, over time, sure enough, it will not serve us well. And our emotional state will decline. And we won't enjoy a quality of life that we deserve. And that will be reflected in our mood, as well as in our physical well-being. But we can mitigate that with the Nikken products and with a Nikken lifestyle. So we invite you to enjoy them, test them out, try them, and experience for yourself the obvious effects of a good quality of living. So thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed this, and we'll speak to you next week. Take care.
Excellent, Ben.